Hello, my fellow intergalactic travelers. It's Asia, intergalactic shaman at multidimensionalu.com. Happy Halloween, blessed Samain. So today I'm offering a special treat, not a trick. I'm going to share my healing story with you. So let's dive right in, and I'll back up. As part of my accelerated spiritual awakening, about a year and a half ago, I was on my back deck enjoying coffee, and I felt a huge team of higher selves come in and announce the next part of your awakening has arrived. And I thought, great, what is it this time? Clearing work had been introduced a few months before that. Et cetera, right? There's like a whole backstory of these activations that I went through. And I turned my neck and my neck cricked and I got a huge pain in my neck. And I used to have lots of chronic neck pain. So I thought, oh, great. And somehow I just knew to go to a book on my Kindle written by Dr. Eric Pearl called The Reconnection. Didn't even remember purchasing it, read it kind of in one full swoop. And then my trusty cat, Mr. Wickham, showed up with bad aches and injury, and he was meowing, which is not something he does. And I thought, oh, I'm supposed to heal you. So I did this kind of reconnection technique on him, and the next morning he was fine. And mind you, this is after a couple of vet visits within a year that, is kind of equivalent to a mortgage payment from him getting into fights. So I was pretty stoked about that. I was happy that this has some of these abilities have very practical, real-world applications. And then let's just fast forward, and by December of last year, I was brought into a direct experience of my oversoul. And it really helped me understand that all of these different amazing beings that I had been encountering over the last 3 years, as I was thinking they were guides or teachers, were actually aspects of myself in different form, right? So we're all connected via the oversoul. And so their abilities are instantly my abilities, which is mind-blowing. But there is one particular aspect, actually two healer aspects that made themselves known to me within a 3-month time frame of last year. One is a Lyran aspect, Lyran. And the other is a man on the earth who lives like an ascetic, literally in a cave somewhere in India or Pakistan. And his healings that he has conducted through me have been phenomenal. So I'll just give you a few examples and make sure I'm still recording here. Yes. Okay. So 4 or 5 months ago, one of my clients mentioned that her daughter had been in Scandinavia and came back with mold in her lungs and a cough. And she had just started some homeopathic protocol for it. But I thought, sure, I'll try. Who knows what will happen? Well, I took her higher self. So let me back up, and I've just come to understand the reason why these divine technology modalities work so well is because we're operating in a dimension of the higher self. And then the work or the template, the effect is downloaded into the physical. This is why all of this clearing work I do is possible, healing work, etc. So I took her higher self to see my healer aspect in the cave, and he's always in a blissful state, very blithe and just joyful, and said, it's very simple. We'll put a resonant layer in her auric body and invite the mold into that. And he pulled the entire thing then out of her crown chakra. So then I heard from this client a week or two later. They went back to the naturopath they were working with, who was stunned that all of the mold was gone from her system. Mind-blowing from this perspective that we've all been conditioned into, which says that we live in a material plane and everything has to be a mechanic solution, right? Mechanical, material, chemical, physiological. Well, when you work in the etheric, it does appear that, miraculous things can happen. But I think what all these various aspects of myself, some of whom are in a different, star system, would tell us is that these are simply remedies or technologies that operate in a different dimension. And they're actually, I was going to say just as effective, but actually they're more effective with no side effects, right? When you introduce pharmaceuticals or chemicals into the body, we all know I used to take ibuprofen all the time for my chronic neck pain, right? And that's not great for your organs and your body in general. Another quick story. So I have a friend who has suffered from migraines for a good probably 20 years and recently got in a cycle where they wouldn't stop. And so I moved into doing kind of the reconnection with her, that modality. But then I was guided by my Lyran aspect to start using, I just instantly will go into, it's like a light language modality. And things are happening so fast, I don't know that I could even tell you exactly all that's happening. I feel like I'm stepping out of linear time and working in a dimension that it's transcending the polarity and duality that we all live in here in the third dimension. And so her migraine receded, was gone for 2 days, started to come back, did another healing, gone again, right? The other thing that I'm noticing is I'm doing this work, both healing and clearing, and they're kind of one and the same. There's like a whole bunch of modalities kind of just all put together, is that I'm finding and discovering imbalances or negative programs in a person's body. I've been doing a lot of clearing programs out of this space, especially. And so it's not just a standard healing that makes the body feel better. It's going to the root origin, it would appear, as to why these ailments are manifesting, right? There's a negative program or distortion or imbalance in the body, usually connected to some sort of trauma or negative self-belief, usually in the subconscious. I don't think a lot of people even realize that this is in their field. I've certainly seen that in my clearing work. Another example, a friend went in for surgery, which ended up getting botched, was told she wasn't probably going to be able to walk again for a year, worked on her consecutively for 30 days, and she was up walking within a few weeks. I think it stunned her, her surgeon, not sure what to do with that. And so this brings me to a really good point. I got really excited about this healing work when it first kind of came online about a year ago. And then I had some experiences with people that really, frankly, turned me off. And I thought, well, kind of screw it. Like, I don't think people are ready for this yet. I actually have had people tell me after a healing was done and the issue resolved that the doctor must have misdiagnosed it. I was like, whoa. And I get it. There's cognitive dissonance because, these results we've been conditioned again to see these as impossible. Right. So we'll search when you haven't opened your mind and really begun to reconnect to a multidimensional reality, your mind will search for answers that can explain that away from, again, the Cartesian mechanistic worldview. Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you, like, it is so beyond time to move beyond the limitations of that worldview. And I'm passionate about this work, about helping people reconnect to their own multidimensional nature, their own abilities to self-heal, to live in a coherent, balanced state of being in which they feel good inside, right? And if, life happens, ailments can come along, but, I get rid of my daughter's earaches and sore throats and things like that, right? Literally 2 minutes of work. So I guess I'm coming out of the closet with my healing abilities, knowing that some people are still not going to be able to accommodate that. But I realize it's time for me to make this available to more people, in the hopes that I can help alleviate your suffering, and then give you more room to grow, right? So, wow, you experience this amazing modality, like that really begins to open the mind, right? Past all the skeptic programming that our society has running in it intentionally so to disconnect us from our divine birthright. That's a whole nother story, raw, enter my clearing work. So if that speaks to you and you've got something going on, even if it's minor, like, oh, I can't seem to get rid of this minor headache, or I have tennis elbow, or some aches or pains, all the way to a chronic condition, or you want help, you're going to have surgery and you'd like help post-op, I am making my healing abilities super accessible. So you can read all about that in the link below. I think I've covered most of it. I mean, there's always more, but Thank you for listening. Thank you for being open-minded. Let's enter a whole new age on planet Earth and redefine what it means to be human. With that, have a magical multidimensional day, and I'll talk to you soon.